Hi guys, Frozen Card Gaming here. This is my deck profile on Lightsworn, which I piloted to third place at the FCS Nintendo event for the Edison format. I went 5-0 in Swiss, lost top 4 to Xabers. First round I played against Norles Turbo 2-0. Then I played against the winner, which was a Diva Hero beatdown. I won 2-1. Third game, quick draw plant heroes. I won 2-1. Frog Monarchs won 2-0. And then the last round I played against Black Wings, which I won 2-1. So in the semifinals, I lost to both Floodgates and a very good Xaber hand. Won the first game. So yeah, unlucky, but yeah. Christian, 2 Honest, 3 Heralds, 2 Soul of Purity Light. The reason for 2 instead of 3, which I've seen a lot play, is mainly due to the fact that I've seen it too often, either way too early or way too late. While I do appreciate the fact that it helps my grave and allows for the flexibility, I tend to try to go for Christia as quick as possible in the late game. Often I find Christia actually inhibiting me from playing my own game, because often at that point they have established a board and I try to break it, and I don't really find it beneficial to my plays. I've actually used it more just for a level 8. Just to sync with level 8, sometimes with Plague, sometimes with the Heralds. So I use 1 Hamster and 3 Rykos, while I've seen that the ratio is either 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. The reason for the 1 Hamster is that I feel that if I do not open this, it doesn't really help me forwarding my play, while at least Ryko, of course, is a threat that they always have to deal with. And it's a 1-for-1, plus you get the mill. So both late game and early game, Ryko was a very good help, because often in the late games I often had an established board, but then I sat down a Ryko just to give them something extra to deal with. You could it's a card which is really easy to side out, but I think it's a really good card at 3 actually, especially in this deck, which doesn't really have that much protection, so you need some. For the rest of the Lightsworns, 1 Lumina. I would have used 2 Arcus. I was thinking of it. The main issue is that the attack is only 1200, so it's really easy to get over with. And both Glorious Illusion and Call of Tormented special summons it with in attack mode. So unless you go Lumina play, unless you have the Lumina play, it's really hard to get it into defense mode with because it won't really survive a turn. However, it's something that I will play around with. 1 Aaron. Aaron is really good against the Frog Monarchs. I think I sent back 3-born Frog at least 4 times, stopped their Riser plays. So definitely a good card. I use 1 Jane. I was actually thinking of using 3 Janes, more as a beat stick, and out to Alias, and out to Stratos, and out to even Sirocco. I would plus it mills. The main issue is that, of course, you have to sacrifice a normal summon for it more often than not, and it doesn't really enhance your play. It doesn't really inhibit the opponent from playing. But it's something that you could play around with. 3 Lila, probably the most summoned monster after Celestia. Some played it 2, some played 3. I think that there's never a time where I don't really want to pop a back row, and just clear the board often for Christia or for Judgment Dragon. So we played 3 Celestia. The reason for playing 3 Celestia is often because of Glorious Illusion mostly, and if you can get your Luminous to survive a turn, a Celestia normal summon is a really good normal summon. You have to play around. Style Throw, at least in Norway, but it's easily to time that. 2 JDs for the non-lights ones. Plague, Trooper, and I main 2 Thunder Kings. So the reason for maining Thunder King is because apart from charge, this doesn't really inhibit you from doing any plays. Also, game one against Diva Heroes, this outs Cadaster, which was really important. Also outs Drill Warrior, which is annoying to deal with, and other synchro-based decks, as well as the fact that it inhibits a lot of adding, which this deck doesn't really do. So I'm perfectly fine with using it. Plus, as well, it's a 19-bit stick, so it gets over Kokimeri Drago, which was a problem, and it's an imminent threat, especially when you have Honest in hand. People will often try to use the resources to get Thunder King off the field, so you're able to play with the other cards and establish a board with the other ones while leaving a Thunder King on the field. So they have to prioritize either dealing with the Lightsworns or having to deal with Thunder King, which may inhibit them in some way. Spells quite standard: charge, 3 charge, 2 gold sack, and 1 heavy, 1 MSD. Sacking is an issue. Usually, depending on my hand, I of course go for the Christia, JD, or Charge of the Light Brigade. There are some times where, for example, you want to go for a Beckoning Light instead, which is fine, completely fine. But round one, I often go for, most often or than not, I go for Christia. Traps, very standard. 1 Beckoning, 2 Glorious Illusion, and 1 Cloth. So for the extra deck, for the side, first and foremost, for the side deck, I won't really go into it, as it's wholly dependent on your own locals. I did play Consecrated Light, for example, which has some benefits as well, apart from just shutting down the dark decks. It's also a fairy, so you can discard it, easily discardable card for Herald. So Armor, Android, Catasta, Tempest Magician. She won my game, which was underutilized because she also fixes hands while dealing burn damage. She's not big enough, but she may also out Catasta in a pinch, which is also relevant, very relevant actually, because Catasta is a card that you have to deal with his deck, and if you don't really draw a Celestia or a JD, this is a way, or else you have to crash your Catasta against the Catasta, which often is a useless play or is basically a -3. So then we have Bryonek. Bryonek, the same as Tempest, often gives you OTK potential, and also you're also allowed to able to play around Gores due to Christia with Bryo. In the last game of Swiss, I had Bryo, and then I summoned Christia. I had Bryo, discarded 3, was able to summon Christia off of that, Christia, so I played around Gores there and Trag, and then won. So, Grey Guardian, this is the card that I use the most. I would probably up it up to 2, likely because often when people leave their tuners on the field, it's a really great card. It helps you establish another board. You can easily go into your other cards in the extra deck, which is very relevant because you rarely go into the extra deck more than once in the per game. Black Rose. So I realized like mid tournament that I can't really use this card, can't really make it. So I think this will be another Grey Guardian. So Linworm, it has some OTK potential. Like I said, you don't really. It's very situational. You don't really use the card. You don't really use your extra deck. So, but there are situations where the life point difference may come up, and you just want to go for a game there. So it's included. Same with Parseth. Parseth is mainly here to get over big booties, and especially cards which are really big, but have to due to the fact which turns them into defense mode. You can easily get around, for example, Goy Guardian, or get around other big synchros or boss monsters which need to be in defense. Like, for example, Malicious Edge is a card and he deals piercing damage, so he has some escape potential. Colossal Fighter at its best, I think it can be around 32 or 31 in my deck, which outs most cards. At the same time, it allows to special summon a warrior from the grave, so that's also really nice. Stardust Dragon, Thought Ruler, quite standard. I went for Thought Ruler twice. The one-man game, and due to the life point effect. Also, leaving it out on the field, it's really good against cards like Mind Control and other cards that target. You can also play around Dimensional Prison, which is a very very sought after card here. Missed them. I played it. I actually made it 3 times. One of my old games where I made it, and it's not that you really need it, but when you actually need it and you don't include it, you'll probably beat yourself down for not using it. So for example, won me round 2 against the Diva Hero Beat player who won the tournament. Definitely, as you have a lot of space in your extra deck, I would recommend using it. While Chimera Fortress Dragon, of course, I side Cyber Dragon. I've seen that some main it. It's mainly due to, of course, machines. Sometimes you can even take the card troopers. You take the opponent card troopers, try to give them a -1. But of course, it's all over the machines. That's it for my deck profile. Thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe to Frozen Card Gaming.